My lovers, welcome to my channel. My name is Made for Love, and today we're asking what have they realized about you and what have they realized about the connection. So we're looking at what has your person realized about you and what have they realized about your soul connection. Today is the full moon, and a lot of epiphanies, breakthroughs, and illumination may come forward, so we may be tapping into that. I myself, some really weird in dreams though, right? But very illuminating. Um, nah, not the time to share. If I get a prompt to share, I will. But let's get into the reading. All right, so we're going to start as we always start. We will get significators for your person's energy, their energy towards you. We'll look at their thoughts and feelings about you at this time, and then we look at what have they realized about you in this connection. In the extended, we will do the same thing with the third party or karmic connection. All right, this is the soul cards too. What have they realized about this connection? Well, the energy rather we're tapping into now. Your person, remember I was talking about a lot of illumination coming with the full moon. But also what can happen on the full moon is that we can really get close and come into close contact with high vibrational beings. I mean, they're always around us, but the spiritual connectivity is off the charts when we're talking about the full moon. And it feels like this is what has happened with your person. Because if we look at this here, we see an ancestor, a guide talking to your person, and your person, naked, unafraid, and exposed, just soaking in all the knowledge and the energy. This is what I get here. Okay? And both people are looking up to the heavens. So it feels like this is a guide. I don't believe this represents source energy. This is a guide. This guide is getting information from collective intelligence and then passing it on to your person, right? So a lot of illumination, a lot of insights they're receiving at this time. Let's get a significator for your person's energy at this time. Energy generally. I didn't know if the car was right side up or upside down. And I feel this is what is happening in their world right now. The things that they believed to be true or they were taught were true, they're uncovering that it's false. And the things that they were taught were false, they're now realizing it's to be true. And it feels like your person has been carrying the weight of their ancestral programming for a long time, and it looks like that programming was very dysfunctional. Now if we look at what this guy is toting around here, it's many hands, but many hands in the dark, many hands with many hands covered in soot and something really dense and shadowy, and your person has been toting that around on their back. Now I see them reaching out a hand here for help. They're reaching out to a high vibrational ancestor, spirit guide, maybe source itself, because they feel like it's time to step out from under the weight of their family dysfunction. This is what I'm getting with this, right? Their family dysfunction has been causing chaos in their life, sabotaging their life, and they are ready to leave that behind. I'll pull some cards on that to see exactly what we're getting with that. Let's do that. That's a very powerful card. So all the family trauma, baggage, your person feels has been charged, or perhaps, just perhaps, what is this? Oh, it looks like one card got left back. and we have abandonment issues. So maybe this is one of the primary issues that your person has been battling with, and maybe all of their ancestry maybe have been battling with that. And you see, when we have abandonment issues, it's so easy to compromise ourselves and our morals and our boundaries just so people can stay in our life. And I feel that very deeply because it's one of the things that I am transmuting at this time. You have periods where you're transmuting different things. And one of the things that I am transmuting is I think Charles is the first person that I voiced it aloud to. And I did that yesterday. So it's interesting that it will come up in this reading today. What I've been struggling with right now in this this present time is the energy of disgust. And it's not disgust aimed towards anybody else, but it is self-disgust and self-loathing, right? And I know the appropriate answers to say. The appropriate answer to say and to tell myself, and what I tell other people, is that you were only operating with the tools that you had at the time, and maybe you didn't have enough information to make better decisions, blah, 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 your trauma, blah, blah, blah. I know all the things to say. But it's really hard to know what the answer is and then to integrate it within yourself and to forgive yourself. And this is what I'm dealing with. Because when I look back on myself, and I'm not talking about my twin flame connection, although I do have a bit of self-loathing there too. I'm talking all my past relationships, especially my past relationships in love, and then maybe even some of my friendships, right? Not very close friends, but those kind of pumpkin vine friendships, right? The things that I was willing to put up with, and to accept just to have people around me. I look back on that, the cringe, the ick, it's something that I am grappling with. And when I think about myself, I can feel the sneer coming on my face. Like, are you fucking for real? How could you? How could you? It's a really deep betrayal, and it's so profound when you've betrayed yourself. So this is something that I am trying to transmute right now. And maybe because today's a full moon, I'm being guided to do a ritual around this because this is very dense for me. Okay? And so it feels like this is very dense for a person too, right? This energy of, abandonment issues and the things and how that manifests in their life. Let's pull a card on the weight of the ancestry. We have the 12 swords in reverse, and the 12 swords in reverse goes to the ace of swords for me. And the ace of swords is about illumination. It's about seeing things clearly, and not just seeing things clearly in terms of how we have lived our lives and what we have done, but also when you look at your ancestry and look at how people have compromised themselves and what they were willing to accept, it really hits home. And I feel this is what is happening with your person. It is the pain of truth. I can't put it any other way, but that's exactly what it is. It's the blinding, glaring, painful light of truth. And let's see this person's energy towards you. If you're willing to share, tell me what you are dealing with or transmuting at this time. If you could put it down below. Sometimes it helps, I'm realizing, to say it aloud. Because after having that conversation with Charlotte yesterday, I feel like a little bit of the weight is off, right? All right, so the energy towards you is the enemy. It could be that they are really defensive right now because this is a defensive position for a snake. This is a warning position for a snake. But I feel like this is a card number 47. 47 reduces to 11. And that is about justice. And I feel like maybe your person may be looking at how you might have done an injustice to them, or how they might have done an injustice to you, and it feels like they're really defensive at this time. The energy towards you, let's see what it is. We have healing. I'll pull another card on that because that's big. That's very different from that energy underneath the deck. Or maybe they're healing defensiveness and trying to be more open and vulnerable where you are concerned. Let's get another card. And when we have friendship, so what I'm feeling here, and I think it's coming up because this is a what have they realized really. I think when your person met you, they thought you were the enemy. They thought that they were sleeping with the enemy, and they were really defensive, and they may have even hurt you in the course of defending themselves. We saw that warning energy from the snake, always ready to strike, right? And maybe even when little things happen in the relationship, they may have projected their own wounding onto it and maybe struck back or hurt you whilst defending themselves. But now they're realizing that you are not their enemy. You are their friend. So what have they realized? They realize that you are not the enemy, you are their friend. And that you have been very instrumental in them learning to trust people again, because that goes back to the abandonment issues. When we have abandonment issues, it's very difficult for us to trust because we expect that at any moment in time, people are going to either physically leave us or they're emotionally going to abandon us. So why bother to get close in the first place? But because of you, they've done a lot of healing around this, and they realize you are not their enemy. And even if you may have done things that they were hurt by, you did not mean to hurt them. That was just their wounding being triggered. So the biggest thing that they realize is that you are their friend. Let's look at their thoughts. When they think about you and this connection, how are they processing this connection mentally? So I feel that's what they realize. We have 3 of Swords in reverse. That you didn't mean to hurt them. That you didn't mean to hurt them. There could be something here about releasing a third party. Let me pull out the other cards. But that's the first thing that came out. Judgment. Now that they're seeing things from a higher perspective, they're seeing that you never meant to hurt them. Right? 7 of Cups in reverse talks about gaining clarity. So this is what they're thinking about. You never meant to hurt them. You've always been the one, the Empress. That's what I get. You've never meant to hurt them. You have always been their friend. But their wounding, particularly their abandonment issues, made them see things very differently. Let me look at their heart space energy for you. Underneath the deck, we have cheerful. So when they think about you, they do feel happy. They think about the good times. They do. We have jealous. All right, so I don't know if some of you have started seeing other people, or maybe this is just something that they're feeling because maybe you're not as clingy as before, but they feel jealous. We have going through the motions, feeling a little numb. I feel like for some of you guys, this person is feeling that like you're over it, you're over them. We have codependent, so feeling a bit of desperation. You may have, triggered the abandonment issues, so now they want to be a little clingy. And we also have power hungry. They're eager to regain or retain or obtain for the first time the power back in this relationship. Right now they're feeling defenseless. They're feeling vulnerable. They're feeling weak. And this is like this person's person's worst nightmare. To be vulnerable and weak. I feel like your person is realizing that they're in love. And for them, love is weakness, because love is giving somebody else enough ammunition to hurt you. So I feel themselves trying to emotionally distance themselves from you, but at the same time, there's this magnetism that keeps playing and it makes them feel addicted. And I feel like that same energy of disgust, I feel that same energy of disgust here. Because they see love as weakness. And this is someone who wants to feel empowered, because weakness makes them feel like the child they were when people abandoned them. And they don't ever want to feel like that again. Now let's ask Spirit. Besides recognizing that you are their friend and that you never meant to hurt them, what else have they realized about you and this connection? What else have they realized about you and this connection? We have the Page of Swords in reverse. We have the Four. Okay, it's very much like what we got in, from the energies. We're just getting that. We have the World. And we have the Six of Swords in reverse. But I feel like the Six of Swords in reverse needs to be with this. What they realized is that they allowed their childhood wounding, their childhood trauma, right? So for some of them, it may have been verbal and mental abuse. They allowed that trauma to encroach upon this world that you guys were creating together. Because when two people come together, they're creating a new entity. They create their own world, right? They're co-creating, right? And they allow their trauma, their wounding, their pain from the past to sabotage this connection. And the only way forward, what they're realizing is, the only way forward is to focus on themselves and healing some of their core wounds. They want to get to a place, that place where there has been sufficient healing and they have appropriate tools to deal with whatever else is to come. And in order to deal with whatever else is to come, we have to be able to objectively assess situations and not just get easily triggered and react. So that's the place where they want to be. They want to be in that healed place where they are centered, healed enough, because healing is an infinite process. But you want to get to that point on that healing mountain where there's a kind of plateau, right? Where you are stable, you are centered, and you're ready for anything. You have enough tools to make that upward climb, because there will always be something else that will come along that is potentially triggering for us. But if we have enough tools and if we are balanced enough, we're going to be able to say, is this something that is a threat to me objectively, or is this my wounding cropping up again for my attention? They also realize that in the process of protecting themselves, they may have hurt you. And this is not a cycle that they want to repeat. And for that not to be repeated, they have to do the work. Now let's ask Spirit, what does their 3D self want you to know at this time? Let's get a couple messages. What does their 3D self want you to know at this time? So in the extent, we're going to do the same thing with the karmic connection or third party connection. And then we're going to look at what's going to be your person's next move towards you within a month of you watching this reading. What do they want you to know? We have boundaries. Firm boundaries are needed now. So this is something that they're downloading because that's part of the healing process, right? Recognizing who you are, what you believe in, what you will stand for, what your boundaries are, and installing and maintaining those boundaries. So your person's realizing that firm boundaries, either with you or somebody else, are needed right now, and also respecting other people's boundaries, including yours, is what's needed right now. And having beautiful boundaries is one of the ways that we honor and love ourselves. Now we have rejection. This rejection is actually divine protection. So this person may have hurt you, you guys may have separated, you guys may have broken up, but this had to happen. And it had to happen for you and for this person to get some perspective. It feels like maybe you guys were so wrapped up in each other and also wrapped up in pain that you guys may not have been seeing each other or the situation clearly. We have interference. So there was some kind of divine protection here, but there's also some interference that might be going on either from your side, their side, or could be both. An external party is intruding on this relationship. So maybe for a lot of you guys that are watching, there is this external force, right, that's embodied in people who are incarnated. And these could be your family members, but it can also be a spouse, right, or a significant other of somebody else. Could even be work colleagues or a boss, a crazy neighbor. I know about that. Right? We have unavailable. This person is unable to give you all you deserve. And I think this is something that they're realizing too. Until they get their act together and really get themselves balanced, they're never going to be fully emotionally available to you. They're always going to be holding back and always trying to retain their power in the situation. We have decision. It's time to decide about this relationship. So I think your person, they're in decision mode. But you, it's not up to them only. You also have a decision to make. Do you want this person? Have they got to that plateau where you guys are able to work together with each other, communicate properly? If there's trust, there's friendship. Do you think that this relationship has enough tools for it to go the distance? Is this person available emotionally or physically at this time? And if those parameters are not met, then maybe this might be a goodbye for now, or come when you've grown up kind of thing. It's your decision to make. But if you feel like at this moment right now, you guys have enough tools to really power through this and communicate through this, Spirit say, make up your mind. What do you want? What do you want? Let's get some advice from Spirit. We have enchanted forest. It says mystery, magic, and excitement that we have the full moon. So it's a reminder that when the full moon comes, anything is possible. It's a symbol of potential, and it's a symbol of all the magical power of the universe. We have eternal dance. It says movement, wheel of life, and path of least resistance. And it's kind of go with the flow energy that we are getting here. Card number 19. Stand in your power. Let's see what Spirit wants us to learn here. Eternal dance. The lady featured on this card feels completely at one with nature. She is in tune with the rhythm of the earth and her changing cycles. She does not resist the force of nature, but moves gracefully with the wind. Yet though her body sways with the wind, she is not swayed from her path. And that's about, that's that centeredness that we were talking about before. For her feet are firmly planted in the earth. She remains poised, dignified, and balanced. She has shown up in your reading today to help you loosen up and feel the rhythm of life. You will benefit greatly if you too allow yourself to be a bit more flexible. Be open to new ideas. Accept that it is natural for things to change. Do not resist life's natural flow. If the path you are on seems to be all uphill, then find another way. There are many ways to get to where you want to go. So find a way that offers the least resistance. Life does not need to be as difficult as you're making it. It is often easier to dance your way through rather than push your way through. Try it. And the mantra here is, I accept change and embrace the new possibility it brings. I am flexible and open to new ideas. I create pleasure in my life. I look at life from a balanced perspective. I celebrate life and dance my way through it. So Spirit is saying, just by saying that, that you perceive life in a balanced way, that you are at that plateau that we talked about, where you have a balanced perspective of life and all that is happening, right? You're firmly rooted. Spirit is saying, use that power now, because having a balanced perspective is a powerful thing. Use that power now to make a decision for your life. And if the current path that you're on still hasn't borne fruit, then maybe it's time to just release whatever vision you had, and just allow a new vision to develop in Spirit's own time. And you're going to get little bits and pieces of it until that new vision kind of crystallizes. All you have to say is, universe, I am open to whatever other possibilities that are out there. And it might be possibilities with the same person. It's just in a different form, different time. But just tell the universe you're open. You're open. Or you can say you're open to a solution. You are open to the path of least resistance, and see what happens. Okay? All right, so if you're interested, join me in the extended. We're going to look at the third party situation and what has your person realized there. Otherwise, guys, can I ask you to subscribe to the channel? Put a comment down below. It could be anything. 1111. You can put a heart, put a full stop. It all helps with the algorithm, and it helps our community grow and expand. Take care.